Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 250, Initiation, Human and Solar. It's 211 pages, so it's, full-length work by Alice A. Bailey. Again, a second work by her that I've released. Link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links to my books blogs as well, where this and other works can be reached. This is the 250th edition, so it's time to clean up the files a little bit. I tend to be a little bit on the messy side when it comes to my literature, unfortunately. PDFs all over the fucking computer and stuff. Alice Bailey needs no real introduction. Anyone who understands anything about theosophy's heard her name. A lot of her writings, especially later, were channeled works. Or revealed works, as they termed them. This is one of her early works, 1922, along with Consciousness of the Atom, one of her major works, this one being a bit longer. And basically, it follows up through all of the very hierarchical categorization systems for the initiation process into theosophy, this particular mystery tradition. Talking about how the entered initiate goes through various stages, a refining process basically, on the way up to learning various occult secrets. In brief detail, talking about those, the categories of the devas and sort of the planes of existence and the different types of spiritual forces that can exist. Speaking about the different categories that one may end up enjoining once they've sort of mastered that basic to intermediate level of theosophy, sort of the things that they can do thereafter, working with magnetism, being sort of a healer, doing various things, meditation being important. One thing that I found most interesting here is it's definitely from this Volkish period, if you will. Because one of the main focuses of one of, I think at the fifth level of initiation was that you would become a vegetarian, and some people would go further and become basically what would amount to a vegan. And it says you must rigidly follow the constraint of not eating flesh. You can keep eating some eggs and cheese and milk and butter and stuff, dairy products. You should go further if you can. Some people can't, but you can't eat meat. And then some spectacular people can survive being full vegans, basically is what it says. Now, of course, this is from the early 20s. Nutritional science was not quite as adept then as it is now. So I'm wondering exactly where they did get their proteins from, if they've endorsed full veganism. I'm thinking some of them may have been bullshitting, and those that weren't, they must have stuffed their face with beans and a lot of cantaloupe and just eggplant maybe. Some of these other protein and vitamin and mineral rich plants would have been necessary in their diet. A lot of nuts, almonds and shit. I'm just trying to think of Rudolf Steiner there. He's fixing his muesli in the morning, and even without milk or yogurt. How funny that would have been. Getting off topic a little bit, it is a very good work. It's very well written. There are a lot of numbered lists and categories, and some of the terms are very much Eastern. And so a Western reader may not understand what's being spoken of at all times. And so Bailey helpfully included a glossary at the end of the work, about 10 pages, that helps to describe some of these things that are being spoken of, some of these various terms, in the age of Aquarius sort of stuff. Definitely highly recommended. If you're interested at all in theosophy, this would be one of the seminal works. This would be right up there with maybe Occult Significance of Blood by Steiner. Technically, I believe he released that after he stopped being a theosophist and went off to do his own thing, but it's still very much in the same vein. Some of Blavatsky's work and a few of the works by Besant and Judge and some of these others. This is one of the most significant, and probably the most significant from Alice Bailey, again, who is relatively well known. She had quite a number of works. I actually had a collection of her works once, ended up selling most of them off. The cat destroyed one of them. In fact, I think it was the one about white magic, unfortunately. The cat didn't want me practicing that nonsense. It wanted me to talk to demons instead, I guess. Anyway, again, link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links to my books blogs. Highly recommended. Major theosophical work, highly occult in nature, and also a good read. It's entertaining to read such works as well, if you're into sort of that dry categorical side of literature as well. That's about all. Peace out.